Close your eyes and let the quiet of the night wrap gently around you. Tonight, we drift together into a universe where gods move like slow, luminous rivers, where cosmic battles ripple across endless skies, not with fear, but with the gentle rhythm of creation. Soft winds carry us past shining temples perched on clouds, over rivers of light, and through deserts where the stars themselves whisper ancient secrets. Here, the divine plays and struggles, but always with a harmony that hums quietly beneath the noise of the world. Let us walk slowly through these celestial tales, letting each whisper of godly conflict and cosmic wonder soothe our minds. Every clash and calm, every flicker of divine power is a lullaby for the soul, guiding us softly toward dreams. If this story drifts gently over your thoughts, let me know where you are listening from, or simply subscribe to float into more peaceful nights of celestial tales. The night rests gently over the world, a deep, quiet blanket that stretches from horizon to horizon. Stars, delicate and still, hover in the sky like tiny lanterns, blinking softly with the rhythm of a distant harp. A soft wind stirs the branches of unseen trees, carrying the faint scent of blooming night flowers, and a calm hush settles across valleys and mountains alike. You float above a still river, its waters reflecting the first whispers of celestial light, a silver glow that trembles slowly as if breathing. High above, the temples of the gods rise like islands of gold and stone, perched on clouds that drift lazily across endless skies. The candlelight within these sacred halls flickers in quiet patterns, each flame a heartbeat, a soft pulse in the vast calm of the heavens. The air is warm yet cool, a gentle balance that brushes against the skin like a lover's hand, inviting the spirit to rest and watch. Across the cosmic expanse, the first stirrings of divine life begin to hum. These are soft motions, the tiniest vibrations that travel through starlight and cloud, like music made of breath and light. The gods themselves do not yet move in haste. Their voices are whispers, barely louder than the rustle of wings or the soft crash of a distant waterfall. Each note carries a meaning older than the mountains, older than time itself, yet it is gentle, like a lullaby meant to soothe both earth and sky. Slowly, a river of light unfolds, winding through the heavens like molten silver. It flows between constellations, past golden spires and the soft curve of crescent moons, carrying energy that hums softly under the touch. This river does not rush. It curves and bends, whispering to itself in delicate ripples, and the stars lean down to watch, their eyes reflecting the calm passage of light and spirit. You drift alongside it, feeling the quiet warmth of its motion brushing against your thoughts, reminding you that all journeys begin slowly, with a single, gentle ripple. The temples above are not silent. Each chamber, carved with patterns older than memory, hums with a faint, luminous presence. There are halls where the air glows softly, where the scent of incense lingers like morning fog. You can sense the gods moving, not with urgency, but with a soft rhythm, as if they themselves are swaying to a song that only the heavens can hear. Some lift their hands, tracing the air with gestures that scatter light like tiny seeds, while others kneel beside still pools, letting their reflections ripple in the silver water. All is measured, gentle, and purposeful. As the first hints of morning approach the edge of the sky, a soft chorus begins. Not a song in the way that humans sing, but a resonance that travels through space itself, vibrating across clouds and rivers and mountains. Each vibration carries a story, a memory of creation, a whisper of harmony and growth. The notes are slow and stretching like the opening of a flower, and the listener, drifting in this sacred calm, cannot help but breathe in time with them. Every inhalation gathers peace. Every exhalation releases the weight of the waking world. Across the heavens, constellations seem to stir. They bend and sway, not violently, but with the ease of sleep turning in a bed. The pattern of stars shifts in subtle arcs, drawing faint lines that tell ancient stories, of gods who created mountains from dust, of spirits who traced rivers across the land, of the quiet, enduring power that flows in every heartbeat of the universe. You can feel these movements, not with your hands, but with the soft pulse of your spirit, as if the entire sky has become a mirror of your own calm awareness. A small flock of divine birds glides across the first light, their feathers shimmering like threads of moonlight. They move with a softness that seems almost unreal, each beat of their wings a gentle caress on the air. They circle above temples, above rivers, above sleeping cities far below, carrying messages of balance and peace. Their cries are distant and musical, echoing faintly through clouds, threading through the spaces between stars. You drift behind them, guided by their luminous flight, following the slow, hypnotic arcs they trace across the dawn. The wind moves gently now, stirring soft mists that curl around temple spires like silken veils. The sound is barely more than a sigh, but it touches every part of the heavens, brushing against stars, rivers, and cloud banks. The air carries with it a warmth of presence, a quiet assurance that all is as it should be. Nothing presses, nothing demands, only the soft rhythm of breath, of light, of being. You feel it lying still in the space between waking and dreaming, and your mind drifts with it, weightless, suspended, safe. In the heart of a vast temple, a single god kneels beside a pool of still water. The reflection ripples gently, catching the colors of stars and light that spill across the ceiling. With every motion of the god's hands, the water shimmers in new patterns, like threads of silver weaving delicate webs. It is not a display of power, but a quiet tending, a nurturing of what is already perfect. The ripples travel outward, touching the edges of the temple, the clouds, the rivers, and you feel them passing softly through your consciousness. Around the temple, small orbs of light hover like floating lanterns guided by invisible hands. They drift with no urgency, carrying whispers that speak of beginnings. They tell of the first gentle battles that shape the heavens, not with clashing or fear, but with the slow, deliberate shaping of energy and intention. The sky itself listens. Every star tilts its gaze, every breeze bends in quiet attention, every river of light curves just so. All of it moves together in the rhythm of soft creation. Far beyond the temples, on the edges of the cosmos, another light stirs. It moves like a heartbeat, pulsing faintly against the dark expanse. This is the first motion of the celestial battlefield, but it is not harsh. It is a gentle opening, a space being made for harmony and understanding to unfold. The gods do not yet act. They simply prepare, their presence a calm, steady energy that balances the flowing light. You watch, feeling the quiet inevitability of order, a slow and graceful unfolding of all things. The rivers of the heavens shimmer more brightly now, reflecting the growing light. You drift closer, noticing the delicate movements on the surface, tiny whirlpools that swirl like the thoughts of the universe, faint currents that guide the larger flows, and threads of silver that link one star to another. It is all motion without rush, action without strain. You float in the space between, held by the gentle current, feeling its subtle guidance as it moves around you, beneath you, through you. Above, the temples begin to glow with soft intensity. The candle flames flare and subside in a measured pattern. The walls shimmer faintly, and a quiet hum fills the air. Each vibration is a tender reminder that even in the presence of immense power, there can be calm. Even in the earliest stirrings of conflict, there is no fear. Only the knowledge that every movement, every choice, every breath belongs to the slow, deliberate rhythm of the cosmos. You notice, too, the slow turning of a great wheel in the sky. It moves imperceptibly, yet its presence shapes the flow of light and shadow, carrying subtle patterns that touch every star and cloud. The wheel turns like a breath, in and out, and the entire universe moves in time with it. You breathe with it, feeling the gentle expansion and contraction, the soft assurance that all is steady, all is safe, all is calm. And now, as dawn edges closer, the first full glow of celestial light spills across the rivers and temples, across the stars and clouds. It is not harsh. It does not demand. It simply rests upon the world, bathing it in silver and gold, weaving every motion into the softest harmony. The gods watch quietly. their eyes reflecting the light, their forms bending with the rhythms of the sky, their presence a lullaby of stillness and calm. Let us drift onward, carried by these soft currents of light and presence. The stars lean closer, the wind sighs in gentle arcs, and the rivers of heaven shimmer like whispered secrets. The temples rest on clouds, the birds glide without hurry, and the gods themselves move in slow, measured grace. Now rest, as the stars return to their silent vigil, as the light softens over rivers and hills. Let your thoughts drift like petals upon a quiet stream. Let your breath follow the gentle currents, and let the first whispers of the celestial day carry you deeper into S. The night rests gently over the world, a deep, quiet blanket that stretches from horizon to horizon. Stars, delicate and still, hover in the sky like tiny lanterns, blinking softly with the rhythm of a distant harp. A soft wind stirs the branches of unseen trees, carrying the faint scent of blooming night flowers, and a calm hush settles across valleys and mountains alike. You float above a still river, its waters reflecting the first whispers of celestial light, a silver glow that trembles slowly as if breathing. High above, the temples of the gods rise like islands of gold and stone, perched on clouds that drift lazily across endless skies. The candlelight within these sacred halls flickers in quiet patterns, each flame a heartbeat, a soft pulse in the vast calm of the heavens. The air is warm yet cool, a gentle balance that brushes against the skin like a lover's hand, inviting the spirit to rest and watch. Across the cosmic expanse, the first stirrings of divine life begin to hum. These are soft motions, the tiniest vibrations that travel through starlight and cloud, like music made of breath and light. The gods themselves do not yet move in haste. Their voices are whispers, barely louder than the rustle of wings or the soft crash of a distant waterfall. Each note carries a meaning older than the mountains, older than time itself, yet it is gentle, like a lullaby meant to soothe both earth and sky. Slowly, a river of light unfolds, winding through the heavens like molten silver. It flows between constellations, past golden spires and the soft curve of crescent moons, carrying energy that hums softly under the touch. This river does not rush. It curves and bends, whispering to itself in delicate ripples, and the stars lean down to watch, their eyes reflecting the calm passage of light and spirit. You drift alongside it, feeling the quiet warmth of its motion brushing against your thoughts, reminding you that all journeys begin slowly, with a single, gentle ripple. The temples above are not silent. Each chamber, carved with patterns older than memory, hums with a faint, luminous presence. There are halls where the air glows softly, where the scent of incense lingers like morning fog. You can sense the gods moving, not with urgency, but with a soft rhythm, as if they themselves are swaying to a song that only the heavens can hear. Some lift their hands, tracing the air with gestures that scatter light like tiny seeds, while others kneel beside still pools, letting their reflections ripple in the silver water. All is measured, gentle, and purposeful. As the first hints of morning approach the edge of the sky, a soft chorus begins. Not a song in the way that humans sing, but a resonance that travels through space itself, vibrating across clouds and rivers and mountains. Each vibration carries a story, a memory of creation, a whisper of harmony and growth. The notes are slow and stretching like the opening of a flower, and the listener, drifting in this sacred calm, cannot help but breathe in time with them. Every inhalation gathers peace. Every exhalation releases the weight of the waking world. Across the heavens, constellations seem to stir. They bend and sway, not violently, but with the ease of sleep turning in a bed. The pattern of stars shifts in subtle arcs, drawing faint lines that tell ancient stories, of gods who created mountains from dust, of spirits who traced rivers across the land, of the quiet, enduring power that flows in every heartbeat of the universe. You can feel these movements, not with your hands, but with the soft pulse of your spirit, as if the entire sky has become a mirror of your own calm awareness. A small flock of divine birds glides across the first light, their feathers shimmering like threads of moonlight. They move with a softness that seems almost unreal, each beat of their wings a gentle caress on the air. They circle above temples, above rivers, above sleeping cities far below, carrying messages of balance and peace. Their cries are distant and musical, echoing faintly through clouds, threading through the spaces between stars. You drift behind them, guided by their luminous flight, following the slow, hypnotic arcs they trace across the dawn. The wind moves gently now, stirring soft mists that curl around temple spires like silken veils. The sound is barely more than a sigh, but it touches every part of the heavens, brushing against stars, rivers, and cloud banks. The air carries with it a warmth of presence, a quiet assurance that all is as it should be. Nothing presses, nothing demands, only the soft rhythm of breath, of light, of being. You feel it lying still in the space between waking and dreaming, and your mind drifts with it, weightless, suspended, safe. In the heart of a vast temple, a single god kneels beside a pool of still water. The reflection ripples gently, catching the colors of stars and light that spill across the ceiling. With every motion of the god's hands, the water shimmers in new patterns, like threads of silver weaving delicate webs. It is not a display of power, but a quiet tending, a nurturing of what is already perfect. The ripples travel outward, touching the edges of the temple, the clouds, the rivers, and you feel them passing softly through your consciousness. Around the temple, small orbs of light hover like floating lanterns guided by invisible hands. They drift with no urgency, carrying whispers that speak of beginnings. They tell of the first gentle battles that shape the heavens, not with clashing or fear, but with the slow, deliberate shaping of energy and intention. The sky itself listens. Every star tilts its gaze. Every breeze bends in quiet attention. Every river of light curves just so. All of it moves together in the rhythm of soft creation. Far beyond the temples, on the edges of the cosmos, another light stirs. It moves like a heartbeat, pulsing faintly against the dark expanse. This is the first motion of the celestial battlefield, but it is not harsh. It is a gentle opening, a space being made for harmony and understanding to unfold. The gods do not yet act. They simply prepare, their presence a calm, steady energy that balances the flowing light. You watch, feeling the quiet inevitability of order, a slow and graceful unfolding of all things. The rivers of the heavens shimmer more brightly now, reflecting the growing light. You drift closer, noticing the delicate movements on the surface, tiny whirlpools that swirl like the thoughts of the universe, faint currents that guide the larger flows, and threads of silver that link one star to another. It is all motion without rush, action without strain. You float in the space between, held by the gentle current, feeling its subtle guidance as it moves around you, beneath you, through you. Above, the temples begin to glow with soft intensity. The candle flames flare and subside in a measured pattern. The walls shimmer faintly, and a quiet hum fills the air. Each vibration is a tender reminder that even in the presence of immense power, there can be calm. Even in the earliest stirrings of conflict, there is no fear. Only the knowledge that every movement, every choice, every breath belongs to the slow, deliberate rhythm of the cosmos. You notice, too, the slow turning of a great wheel in the sky. It moves imperceptibly, yet its presence shapes the flow of light and shadow, carrying subtle patterns that touch every star and cloud. The wheel turns like a breath, in and out, and the entire universe moves in time with it. You breathe with it, feeling the gentle expansion and contraction, the soft assurance that all is steady, all is safe, all is calm. And now, as dawn edges closer, the first full glow of celestial light spills across the rivers and temples, across the stars and clouds. It is not harsh. It does not demand. It simply rests upon the world, bathing it in silver and gold, weaving every motion into the softest harmony. The gods watch quietly, their eyes reflecting the light, their forms bending with the rhythms of the sky, their presence a lullaby of stillness and calm. Let us drift onward, carried by these soft currents of light and presence. The stars lean closer. The wind sighs in gentle arcs, and the rivers of heaven shimmer like whispered secrets. The temples rest on clouds, the birds glide without hurry, and the gods themselves move in slow, measured grace. Now rest as the stars return to their silent vigil, as the light softens over rivers and hills. Let your thoughts drift like petals upon a quiet stream. Let your breath follow the gentle currents, and let the first whispers of the celestial day carry you deeper into sleep, into dreams where the heavens themselves unfold slowly, calmly, endlessly. The sky stretches endlessly, a quiet ocean of deep indigo, where stars shimmer like gentle lanterns suspended in still air. A soft wind moves through the cosmos, carrying with it a faint, luminous scent, as if the fragrance of distant flowers drifts across the night. You float above a river of silver light, watching the stars tremble ever so slightly, whispering to one another in patterns too subtle for ordinary ears. Between constellations, minor gods stir, their forms delicate and luminous, moving slowly as if each motion takes a lifetime. Their voices are soft hums, barely audible, blending with the rhythm of the cosmic tide. They do not shout, they do not clash, they murmur like the quiet sighs of a forest at twilight. Each murmur carries a story, a small friendship, a gentle rivalry, a longing that stretches across light years. Soft arcs of starlight curve around these celestial spirits, cradling them in slow, luminous paths. They drift from one cluster of stars to another, leaving traces of sparkling dust in their wake. This dust is neither bright nor harsh, but a soft shimmer that lingers, like a memory that smiles in sleep. You follow these wandering lights, drifting through constellations, feeling the serenity of their movements settle like a warm shawl around your shoulders. A pair of gods glides together over the curve of a glowing nebula, their whispers entwining like slow rivers meeting at a quiet confluence. They speak of shared dreams and quiet hopes, the kind that never need words in the ordinary world. Their laughter is a soft echo, rolling gently through the sky, touching every nearby star and stirring the tiniest pulses of light. The constellations themselves seem to lean closer, listening, bowing with subtle grace to the gentle conversation. Across the heavens, a small cluster of spirits circles a distant moon. Their forms are soft and nearly transparent, like veils of mist illuminated by silver light. They move in slow patterns, weaving around one another, sometimes passing silently, sometimes brushing against the edges of a star. Each encounter is brief, tender, a gentle exchange of presence rather than intention, and you drift with them, carried on the slow currents of their luminous flight, feeling your mind calm with every subtle touch. The space between stars is not empty. Tiny orbs of light float lazily, carrying whispers that ripple through the darkness. They tell stories of distant temples, of rivers that flow through unseen worlds, of gardens where the gods once paused to rest. You listen as these whispers blend together, forming a quiet symphony that hums beneath the gentle pulse of the universe. Every note is slow, deliberate, comforting, wrapping around your thoughts like a soft quilt. Soft winds stir the silver rivers of light, bending them slightly, curving them around clusters of stars. The minor gods follow, moving in response to the currents, floating through luminous arcs that carry memories and dreams. Some linger beside a star, their presence stretching time into slow, easy shapes. Others drift past moons and nebulae, scattering light as they go, leaving behind a shimmer that twinkles faintly, like the residue of a gentle sigh. Above a distant temple, perched on a cloud that drifts lazily through the cosmos, a god pauses beside a pool of still water. The reflection mirrors stars and whispers alike, rippling softly when touched by a faint breeze. The god's hands move with care, stirring the surface just enough to scatter delicate ripples, each spreading outward with quiet intent. The minor gods nearby watch, not interrupting, but leaning close to observe the slow grace of this small act. You float beside them, feeling the ripples move through your mind as gently as the water moves across the temple pool. The whispers of alliances travel like thin threads of silver across the night. They are not commands, not demands, but simple exchanges. A hint of friendship here, a soft reconciliation there. Sometimes a quiet rivalry sparkles briefly, then fades into calm understanding. The cosmos listens, absorbing every sound, every gentle breath of motion. You feel these threads winding around you, delicate and safe, linking you to the slow heartbeat of the heavens. In a quiet corner of the sky, a god tilts a crescent moon with a careful hand, setting it to cast a gentle glow across a nearby constellation. The minor gods respond in kind, adjusting small stars, nudging clouds, letting light flow in a rhythm that feels like soft breathing. There is no rush, no force, only the measured grace of motion in perfect harmony. Each shift of light carries calm, each sway of the moon brushes a whisper of peace into the vast night. A faint drum echoes in the distance, barely more than a vibration in the stillness. It is the heartbeat of the universe itself, slow and steady. The minor gods move in time with it, their gestures soft and precise, their forms glimmering like strands of moonlight. You drift alongside them, your own pulse easing, falling into step with the rhythm, feeling your thoughts untangle and float away on the gentle wind. A single god pauses at the edge of a sparkling nebula, watching the minor gods drift past. The god's eyes are like pools of calm water, reflecting the soft radiance of 1,000 stars. A quiet smile spreads across the face, not in triumph, but in understanding. Every movement, every whisper, every shimmer of light is part of a greater rhythm, a slow, endless dance that stretches across the cosmos. You sense it too, as if the same rhythm flows gently through your own body, guiding your thoughts into stillness. The stars themselves seem to lean closer, their light softening into hues of silver and lavender. They twinkle slowly like candles flickering in a distant temple, each one a gentle witness to the whispers of the minor gods. Their glow is never harsh, never insistent. It is a calm presence, a quiet reminder that even in the vast expanse, all is gentle, all is safe, all is serene. Soft arcs of mist drift across constellations, carrying faint murmurs of memory. Some speak of moments of joy, of quiet laughter shared between gods. Others hum the stories of long, patient watchings, of rivers of light traced for centuries. You float through them, inhaling each whisper, letting the resonance fill your mind with the slow, comforting certainty of continuity and care. The heavens ripple in gentle motion as minor gods cross paths, leaving trails of soft light behind. Some pause, hovering near a star or a cloud, lingering in quiet contemplation. Others glide in tandem, their forms reflecting each other like moonlight on water. The motions are slow, deliberate, and comforting, like the sway of trees in a light evening breeze. You drift with them, carried on the currents of soft light, feeling the weight of the world fall gently from your shoulders. Above a distant, silvered mountain, a god stretches their hands toward the stars. Light flows from fingertips, spilling across the night like water over stones, illuminating the paths of minor gods as they float silently by. Each motion is soft and deliberate, a tender shaping of space and time without urgency. The stars respond, bending faintly, shimmering with a gentle acknowledgement, carrying whispers to the far edges of the universe. As the cosmic night deepens, the murmurs grow quieter, more intimate. They speak of longing and remembrance, of soft connections that stretch across the heavens. You drift with these whispers, feeling them wrap around your heart like a gentle shawl. Each note is a slow breath, each motion a pulse of calm. The minor gods glide past, leaving trails of peace that linger in the mind long after their forms have faded. And now the heavens begin to settle. The rivers of silver light slow their flow, the arcs of mist curl into gentle spirals, the stars lean back into quiet positions. The whispers of minor gods fade into soft hums, like distant waves lapping on a shore. You float in this calm, held by the gentle rhythm of the cosmos, your mind quieting, your body at ease, your thoughts drifting into soft, luminous space. Let us drift onward, carried by the gentle currents of starlight and whispers. The minor gods rest among constellations, their voices now silent, their presence a warm, unseen embrace. Let your breath follow the slow motion of the heavens, your mind tracing the arcs of stars and rivers, your spirit floating among the quiet murmurs. Now rest as the stars return to stillness, as the soft glow of the cosmos embraces you completely. Drift with the minor gods, with the gentle light, with the endless, serene rhythm of the sky. Sleep unfolds around you, slow and tender, and you are held within the whispers between stars. The night sky stretches wide and calm, a vast ocean of soft indigo. Stars float quietly, like lanterns hung in slow motion, their light gentle and steady. You drift along, carried by the cool, whispering wind, feeling its touch like a feather brushing across your skin. Beneath you, the heavens open to reveal a river of light, glowing softly, winding like silver silk across the endless sky. This river is quiet yet alive. Its surface ripples gently, carrying the energy of the cosmos in soft waves. Every shimmer reflects a thought, a hope, a quiet movement of the divine. You float alongside it, letting its rhythm settle deep within your chest, feeling each pulse as a tender heartbeat of the universe. It does not rush. It does not demand. It simply flows, a slow, luminous current that guides everything along its path. Along the river, the gods move like shadows of light. Some drift near its banks, tracing their fingers through the luminous waters, sending faint ripples that spread outward. Others glide above, their forms luminous and fluid, following the curves of the river as if reading a gentle song written in silver and gold. The river carries both harmony and subtle tension. Each ripple is a moment of intention, a delicate balance between motion and stillness. The river bends around glowing islands of clouds. Temples perch upon them, small and radiant, as if the very mist supports their weight. Within these temples, divine energy gathers softly. Candles flicker in quiet rhythm, their flames mirrored by stars in the sky. The minor gods pause at these banks, drawing the light toward themselves, breathing in its warmth and letting it flow outward in gentle arcs. You drift close to watch, noticing how each wave of energy moves in perfect, unhurried patterns. Above the river, the stars lean slightly, their points of light stretching as if reaching to touch the flowing water. Some scatter across the surface, leaving trails of soft luminescence, while others hover quietly, reflecting the light of the river back into the heavens. The movement is hypnotic. Your mind eases into its rhythm, each ripple of light guiding your thoughts toward calm, each shimmer a soft exhale. The gods speak in whispers here, but their voices are not loud. They are the gentle brushing of wings, the soft sighing of water over stones, the faint hum of moonlight touching the clouds. They discuss small matters of balance, gentle adjustments of energy, or the tender tending of distant stars. Every word, every motion is deliberate, a slow dance that blends seamlessly with the river's current. Sometimes a ripple carries a subtle conflict. Not harsh, not frightening, but a small tension between intentions, like a breeze moving against the flow of water. The gods adjust, moving with care, bending the currents with light and thought. These moments are brief, soft, and beautiful, showing the harmony of differences meeting with patience. The river absorbs it all, carrying the echoes onward, smoothing each wave until all is calm once more. Near the bends of the river, a god pauses beside a luminous pool that mirrors the sky above. The water ripples gently, catching the glow of distant stars, and for a moment it seems the river and sky are one. The god moves slowly, tracing patterns across the surface. Each motion sends waves across the pool, touching the river downstream, nudging the current softly. You drift beside this scene, feeling the quiet guidance of intention and energy. Small orbs of light float above the river, weaving between the gods. They carry tiny memories of creation, faint echoes of moments when the cosmos first awoke. Some twirl around the hands of gods, shimmering like soft dust in the air. Others drift into the river itself, carried along, merging with its luminous flow. You follow them, letting their gentle passage calm your mind, each movement a soft pulse of serenity. The river winds higher into the sky, bending around clouds that glimmer like molten silver. The gods glide along its surface, their forms stretching and folding, leaving trails of light that curve with the water's motion. Occasionally, a ripple catches the edge of a distant star, sending sparks across the current. These sparks are brief, quiet flashes of energy, vanishing softly into the night, yet leaving behind a trace of gentle warmth. Across the expanse, the river encounters a field of distant constellations. Here, minor gods pause to rest, their bodies hovering over the water like delicate reflections. Their whispers mingle with the flow of the river, soft stories of quiet victories, shared joy, or patient endurance. Each tale is carried by the water, moving outward in waves that touch every corner of the cosmos, leaving a trail of calm. The wind over the river stirs softly, brushing the surface of the water, creating patterns like slow fingers tracing the night. Small creatures of light, faint and glimmering, swim through the river's flow, carrying gentle pulses of energy. They pause beside gods, circling in careful arcs, then move onward, leaving trails of silver behind. The scene is hypnotic, slow and tender, a quiet rhythm that draws the mind into restful stillness. At times, the river narrows, flowing through tight spaces between clouds and stars. Here, the currents quicken just slightly, forming gentle ripples that bounce softly against the edges. The gods navigate these sections with grace, guiding the flow, balancing intention and motion. Even in these subtle shifts, there is no tension. The movements are smooth, measured, deliberate, a quiet reminder that even in change, calm persists. Above a distant temple, perched on a drifting cloud, a god leans over, letting the river's glow brush across their hands. Light dances across the walls, casting soft shadows that flicker like slow candlelight. Other gods hover nearby, observing in quiet companionship, their whispers carrying gently across the water. You float with them, letting the serene beauty of this interaction settle deep into your chest, your mind softening like water following the river's bend. The river expands again, spreading wide across the heavens, flowing past glittering islands of stars and clouds. Its light touches each constellation, weaving a delicate thread through every corner of the sky. Minor gods glide along, adjusting, pausing, guiding the flow. Every motion is soft, deliberate, a harmonious collaboration that hums gently through the vast expanse. You drift alongside, feeling your thoughts untangle, your breathing slow, your spirit calm. As the river moves onward, it passes through quiet veils of mist, each curl carrying soft reflections of the gods' whispers. You float within these veils, noticing how each sound and shimmer blends into the gentle rhythm of the cosmos. The minor tensions, the small adjustments, the tender shaping of currents, all of it is absorbed, leaving a vast serenity that stretches as far as the eye can see. The river slows as it reaches a vast plain of distant stars, widening into a calm expanse of soft, silver light. The gods pause, letting the water settle, the ripples fade, the currents rest. Orbs of gentle energy float above the surface, shimmering softly, carrying quiet stories that drift into the night. The universe hums a low, steady tone, a lullaby that stretches across the heavens. Let us drift onward, following the river as it winds slowly, carrying light, energy, and quiet purpose. The minor gods rest along its banks, their whispers now faint, their presence a tender embrace. Let your breath fall into the rhythm of the river, your mind settle into the currents, your spirit floating with the flow of eternal light. Now rest as the river's glow spreads across the cosmos, as the stars shimmer softly, as the heavens breathe slowly. Drift with the currents, drift with the whispers, drift with the gentle presence of the gods, and let the endless river of light carry you deeper into sleep, into dreams where the cosmos itself flows in calm, tender harmony. High above the world, where the sky deepens to indigo and silver, clouds gather in quiet, drifting masses. Their shapes are soft, curling like gentle smoke, stretching across the heavens in endless waves. You float among them, carried on a wind that brushes like silk across your skin, and see temples rising from their folds. Golden spires shimmer softly in the starlight, their light warm and inviting, reflecting the calm pulse of the cosmos. The temples are not crowded or busy. They rest lightly upon the clouds, delicate and serene. Their walls are carved with flowing patterns, echoing the curves of rivers and the sweep of mountains below. Within, a soft light glows, flickering like candle flames in slow, hypnotic rhythm. The air carries a quiet scent, a blend of jasmine and distant incense, faint yet comforting, wrapping every thought in stillness. Inside the largest temple, gods move with deliberate grace. Their motions are slow, as if time itself has slowed to match the quiet cadence of their breathing. Hands trace arcs in the air, leaving trails of shimmering light that curl and fold into the space around them. They speak in whispers, their voices blending into a gentle hum that resonates with the pulse of the clouds. The sound is soft and fluid, a lullaby that flows across the temple halls and into the sky beyond. Outside, the clouds sway gently beneath the temple's foundations. Each gust of wind carries ripples of silver light, tracing patterns across the spires and domes. Birds of faint luminescence glide through these currents, their wings stirring soft arcs of mist. Their flight is unhurried, each beat a gentle reminder of harmony and motion. You drift alongside them, feeling the rhythm of wind, light, and breath move through you, calming every corner of the mind. Small orbs of glowing energy hover in the temple's courtyards. They pulse in slow, steady waves, illuminating gardens where the minor gods pause to tend flowering clouds. Each bloom opens slowly, petals glimmering with light that seems to grow from the temple itself. Water trickles from tiny streams, silver and soft, winding around the marble walkways. The sound is like a distant whisper, gentle and steady, and it carries the presence of care and patience. In the halls, the gods gather in quiet councils. They do not speak with urgency, only in measured tones that rise and fall like a calm tide. Their gestures trace invisible patterns, moving energy from one to another, weaving harmony through the air. Sometimes, a hand lifts toward the sky, scattering light across the temple ceiling, and the stars themselves seem to lean closer to watch. The movement is slow, mesmerizing, a dance of stillness and intent. Above the highest spire, a golden bell hangs, untouched by haste. When it moves, it is with the gentlest sway, releasing a sound that vibrates softly across the clouds. The tone is rich, lingering, a subtle vibration that carries the quiet pulse of the heavens. Each note seems to touch distant temples, distant rivers of light, and even the smallest stars, harmonizing the entire celestial expanse in a single, gentle breath. The minor gods move between the temples, their paths winding through clouded courtyards and over soft terraces. They carry faint traces of starlight, weaving threads of calm into the air. Each step leaves a ripple that spreads outward, brushing against the marble floors and the soft edges of drifting clouds. These ripples reach the rivers and stars, a quiet reminder that even the smallest motion in the heavens contributes to the greater rhythm of peace. In a secluded garden, a god kneels beside a pool that mirrors the sky above. The water glimmers with soft light, reflecting the distant stars and the temples themselves. The god moves slowly, tracing circles on the surface, sending ripples across the reflection. Each ripple travels outward, touching the edges of the garden, the cloud terraces, and the distant paths where other gods drift. You float beside the pool, feeling the ripple move through you, soothing every thought, every breath, every heartbeat. From the courtyard, steps lead to an open terrace, where clouds stretch to the horizon in soft folds of silver and pearl. The gods move in slow patterns here, walking along the edges, tracing arcs of light with their hands. Occasionally, a soft laugh or whisper drifts across the terrace, gentle as the wind. Each sound blends with the pulse of the clouds, creating a harmony that flows across the temples and into the night sky beyond. The temples themselves seem alive, breathing with the gods who inhabit them. Spires flex subtly with the rhythm of wind, walls shimmer with quiet energy, and the soft light within moves like liquid, adjusting to the motions of those who dwell there. You notice how even the smallest movement carries calm. A hand adjusting a flower, a footstep along a terrace, a whisper shared between minor gods. Each action flows into the next, a continuous, unbroken stream of serene energy. Occasionally, distant drums echo softly, a heartbeat of the universe. They do not demand attention. They do not hurry. They move in slow pulses, felt more than heard, weaving through the clouded courtyards and spilling outward across the skis. The minor gods pause to align with the rhythm, their gestures tracing arcs that gather the sound, soften it, and release it as gentle waves of light. You drift with these waves, letting them settle deep within your chest, easing every thought and sigh. A golden terrace extends from one temple, hovering lightly above a sea of clouds. Orbs of energy hover above it, guiding the hands of the gods as they shape the flow of light and air. Each god's motion is deliberate, measured, a slow weaving of harmony into the soft currents. You float above the terrace, feeling the gentle push and pull of energy, a rhythm that echoes within you, soothing and steady. Between the temples, faint pathways of silver light trace slow curves through the clouds. The minor gods follow these paths, pausing occasionally to tend floating gardens or small pools. Each movement is an act of care, deliberate and soft, shaping the heavens without force or urgency. You drift along these paths, feeling their calm extend into your mind, smoothing every crease, quieting every restless thought. Above, the starlight bends gently around the temples, reflecting in soft glimmers across marble floors and golden spires. Each reflection is a small echo, a tender reminder of the presence of the divine. The gods watch, listen, and move in unhurried harmony, creating a rhythm that the sky itself carries onward. You float in this rhythm, your breath matching the slow rise and fall of light and shadow, your thoughts dissolving into the vast, peaceful expanse. As the night deepens, a gentle hush settles across the temples. Candles burn low, their flames flickering softly, reflecting in pools and windows. The minor gods pause, their gestures slowing to near stillness. The orbs of light hover quietly, carrying the last murmurs of the day's motions into the soft folds of cloud. Even the wind seems to sigh, curling gently around spires and terraces, wrapping the heavens in tender calm. Let us drift onward, carried by the slow pulse of the clouded temples, by the soft glow of golden spires, and by the whispers of gods moving without haste. Let your breath follow the rhythm of the heavens, your thoughts settle into the calm of marble halls and drifting clouds, your spirit floating among the gentle presence of the divine. Now rest, as the stars lean closer, as the temples sink softly into clouded folds, as the gods pause in their quiet vigilance. Drift in the gentle embrace of the heavens, float with the luminous orbs and soft breezes, and let sleep carry you further into the sacred serenity of temples among clouds. The sky is quiet, a deep expanse of twilight blue stretching endlessly across the heavens. Stars twinkle softly, like distant lanterns, and the river of light winds gently below, flowing in silver arcs across the vast night. You drift among these currents, feeling the subtle warmth of celestial energy brush across your skin, soft as a sigh. Above the clouded temples, a faint shimmer begins to move. Light gathers slowly, curling and coiling like smoke, glowing faintly in hues of gold and amber. These are the first flames of the heavens, a gentle stir of energy that shifts through the sky like a whisper. They flicker without urgency, hinting at movement, a quiet stirring of divine presence that stretches across the cosmos. The minor gods pause near these flames, their forms luminous and delicate. They watch the gentle dance of light, letting it ripple across their bodies in soft arcs. Every flicker is a message, a subtle signal of intention, and even as conflict begins, it carries no harshness, only the soft pulse of celestial awareness. You float alongside them, sensing the rhythm of energy moving in quiet waves, touching every star and temple with faint warmth. The flames rise higher, stretching across the night sky in slow, twisting forms. Each movement is graceful, almost hypnotic, like ribbons of fire moving with the wind. Sparks leap gently from one arc to another, scattering like tiny stars along the currents of the heavens. The sparks are quiet, luminous fragments of power that dance in a slow, mesmerizing ballet, illuminating distant temples and drifting clouds with soft, golden light. From afar, the larger gods watch. Their gestures measure, guiding the flow of fire with calm hands. The flames do not rage or roar. They bend and curve according to subtle currents, weaving through the heavens as if tracing invisible patterns. You float beside these flows, letting the light wash over your mind, each flicker settling like a gentle wave, each spark a tender pulse of serenity. The first clash is near, yet it is not harsh. Fire meets fire in soft arcs, curling around each other like dancers spinning slowly across a silent stage. Their contact creates gentle sparks that drift outward, scattering across clouds and temples alike. These sparks do not burn or frighten. They shimmer in quiet beauty, a reminder that even in conflict, the universe moves with grace. Minor gods hover near the edges of the flames, tracing delicate patterns with their fingers. Each motion adjusts the fire's flow, shaping it without force. You watch as golden arcs bend, twist, and fold, forming intricate glowing paths that meander across the night sky. There is tension, but it is gentle, a dance of light and shadow, of warmth and motion, a quiet exchange that flows naturally without haste. Between the clouds, pools of shimmering fire gather, reflecting the flickering light of distant stars. The flames curl and sway, reaching toward one another, meeting in arcs that illuminate the heavens. A god moves slowly through the currents, guiding the fire along invisible paths. The sparks scatter softly as if acknowledging the god's touch, and the river of light below mirrors the motion, rippling in delicate harmony. The flames rise and fall like slow waves. Golden tongues lick at the edges of clouded temples, then retreat, leaving behind faint trails of light that linger in the mist. The minor gods move through these trails, their forms bending and folding with the currents of fire. Each gesture is precise and deliberate, a quiet shaping of energy that carries harmony even in the smallest clashes. You drift with them, feeling your thoughts ease in the soft rhythm of the flames, each flicker guiding your mind toward calm. Occasionally, a spark arcs higher, touching the distant stars. Its glow spreads slowly, illuminating constellations in gentle washes of gold and amber. The minor gods lean close, tracing arcs of light, sending the sparks on soft, winding paths across the sky. The sparks scatter in quiet beauty, reflecting the delicate balance of the heavens, a calm pulse that echoes in the stillness of night. A faint hum travels through the air, resonating with the movement of fire and the motions of the gods. The sound is soft and steady, like distant drums echoing through the clouds. Each beat matches the slow cadence of the flames, carrying a subtle reassurance that even in moments of clash, harmony exists. You feel the hum move through your chest, slowing your breath, easing your mind, and settling your thoughts like gentle waves across a quiet lake. In the center of the sky, two larger arcs of flame meet, folding around each other in a slow, twisting embrace. Sparks leap outward, scattering across the heavens, yet each spark lands softly, touching distant stars and temples with calm radiance. The gods pause, their gestures careful, shaping the energy so that it flows without disruption. Every motion is deliberate, slow, and tender, a soft guidance of the dance rather than a struggle. The minor gods drift through the arcs, their hands tracing delicate patterns in the air. Each motion sends gentle ripples across the fire, guiding the sparks along meandering paths that illuminate hidden corners of the heavens. The flames respond, bending and curling without resistance, forming glowing shapes that resemble rivers, waves, and the gentle curve of clouds. You float with these patterns, letting the rhythm settle deep in your mind, each ripple of fire a soothing brush across your thoughts. Above the clouded temples, golden sparks rain softly, their light reflecting in marble and water. Pools shimmer with firelight, rippling gently as the sparks touch the surface. The minor gods pause beside these pools, letting their forms mirror the quiet beauty of the sparks. Each reflection moves slowly, creating ripples that spread outward, touching temples, clouds, and distant stars alike. The effect is hypnotic, drawing the mind into calm observation, the pulse of conflict softened into a quiet meditation. The flames continue to dance, but now their movements are softer, slower, more fluid. The arcs twist like ribbons, twirling above temples and drifting clouds, carrying sparks that dissolve gently into the night. The minor gods guide each flow with care, their gestures creating arcs of light that merge with rivers, stars, and pools below. The clash remains, but it is transformed, a quiet interplay of energy that balances motion with serenity, tension with calm. The sky hums with faint resonance, a gentle reminder of the universe's slow, steady heartbeat. Each flicker of flame, each spark in the air, echoes the rhythm of this pulse, weaving it into the clouds, temples, and rivers of light. You drift with the fire, feeling the calm pulse of the heavens move through you, settling each breath, easing each thought, quieting every restless stir of the mind. As the clash slowly winds down, the flames soften into arcs of gold and amber, flowing in gentle curves across the heavens. Sparks linger for a moment, then dissolve into the night, leaving behind trails of warm, calm light. The minor gods hover nearby, their gestures quiet and careful, letting the energy settle into a soft, harmonious pattern. You float with them, carried by the gentle rhythm of fire, light, and motion, feeling the night embrace you fully. Let us drift onward, following the arcs of flame as they fold softly into the night, letting each spark, each ripple, each gentle pulse of divine energy guide your mind towards stillness. The gods pause in their careful motion, the minor sparks settle, and the heavens breathe slowly, carrying you with them. Now rest, as the stars shimmer faintly above, as the clouds cradle temples in quiet embrace, and as the first clash of flames fades into a gentle, glowing memory. Drift with the gentle dance of light and fire, float in the calm rhythm of the cosmos, and let sleep carry you into a serene, luminous dream. The night stretches wide and calm, painted in deep shades of indigo. A pale, eternal moon hovers above, spilling silver light across the heavens. Its glow drapes softly over clouded temples, rivers of light, and drifting constellations. You float gently, carried by a whispering wind that touches the skin like the softest silk. Each breath you take mirrors the quiet rhythm of the cosmos, slow and tender. Beneath the moon's gaze, the gods gather. Their forms are luminous and fluid, moving in soft arcs that trace the curves of distant clouds. They speak in hushed tones, whispers that drift like floating feathers across the night. Some voices carry old oaths, promises etched in the silence of eternity. Others murmur gentle grievances, not with anger, but with the quiet weight of memories that linger like soft shadows. You float among them, sensing both the gravity and the grace that moves within their bonds. The moonlight reflects off silvered spires, softening edges and casting long, serene shadows. Temples perch on drifting clouds, delicate and unhurried. Inside, the gods' whispers mingle with faint candlelight, flickering softly across polished marble floors. The murmurs of old promises seem to settle into the stones themselves, echoing in gentle waves that rise and fall like a lullaby. You drift through these halls, the echoes wrapping you in calm, letting every thought soften into quiet stillness. Outside, the celestial gardens glow faintly, bathed in silver and pearl light. Rivers of starlight flow lazily between flowering clouds, reflecting the moon's tender gaze. Minor gods walk slowly along these paths, tracing arcs of light with their fingers. Their oaths ripple through the air, forming soft waves that carry both commitment and remembrance. You follow the shimmer, letting each ripple ease your chest, each glow settle into your mind like the gentle closing of a door. Above the gardens, the moon casts long beams that drift across the temples and terraces. The gods pause beneath these beams, bowing their heads slightly, touching fingertips together in quiet acknowledgement. Each gesture is deliberate, a soft folding of energy and attention. Promises are spoken softly, carrying warmth rather than force. Even old grievances are touched with patience, their edges smoothed by the calm of moonlight. You float with them, feeling the gentle cadence of this sacred ritual, each motion a pulse of serenity that flows into your own being. The air carries faint harmonies, soft as distant chimes. Orbs of gentle energy hover nearby, poolsing in time with the gods' soft whispers. They drift lazily through the gardens and courtyards, scattering light like tiny petals. Each pulse reminds you of the slow rhythm of trust, of bonds that stretch across eons, of patience that moves quietly without demand. You drift along, following the orb's arcs, letting each wave of light soothe your thoughts. Occasionally, a faint sigh passes through the temples, as if the clouds themselves are breathing with the gods. The minor deities bow slightly, their whispers carrying old stories of alliances, of promises kept and broken, of gentle reconciliations. Their movements are slow, deliberate, never rushed, forming a silent dance beneath the eternal moon. The rhythm of their gestures mirrors the quiet rise and fall of your own chest, grounding you in calm awareness. In a quiet courtyard, two gods stand facing one another. Their forms glow softly, touching the edge of each other's light. They whisper oaths in tones so soft they blend with the rustling of clouded leaves. Each promise carries weight, yet it is wrapped in kindness. Each remembrance of grievance softens, folding into understanding. The beams of moonlight trace arcs around them, illuminating their motions like slow brushstrokes on the canvas of night. You drift closer, feeling the gentle power of words that carry both gravity and grace. The rivers of starlight respond to the whispers, rippling gently as if reflecting the weight of celestial bonds. Sparks of silver light curl upward from their surface, drifting into the air like tiny birds on a slow current. The minor gods follow these sparks, guiding them with tender arcs, weaving a pattern of trust and remembrance across the night sky. Each ripple carries a quiet assurance, a soft echo of the oath spoken beneath the eternal moon. Above the highest spire, a god stretches a hand, letting the moonlight pool in their palm. The glow swirls softly, illuminating the faint motions of other deities around them. Whispered oaths drift through the space between fingers and stars, carrying both remembrance and hope. Some speak of promises made long ago, others of intentions yet to be fulfilled, but all are wrapped in the quiet harmony of moonlight. You float beside them, letting the gentle luminescence fill your mind, each pulse a breath of calm. Small orbs of light weave through clouded courtyards, carrying fragments of whispered vows. Each arc of movement leaves a trail of soft silver, touching marble floors, flowering clouds, and distant rivers of celestial energy. The minor gods pause beside these trails, tracing them with fingertips, allowing the light to bend gently around their gestures. You drift along these arcs, letting the glowing ribbon settle over your chest, your shoulders, your mind, softening each thought into quiet stillness. The moon rises higher, bathing temples, gardens, and drifting clouds in tender, gentle radiance. The gods continue their soft motions, whispering and moving in a slow, unhurried rhythm. Old grievances fold into quiet understanding, promises are renewed in the stillness of night, and every gesture carries patience, care, and calm. You float through this space, sensing the weight of the cosmos made gentle, the strength of eternity softened into rhythm, light, and whisper. The air hums faintly, a soft vibration that flows through temples, gardens, and the vast sky. Each pulse aligns with the gentle movement of the minor gods, the rippling of the rivers of starlight, the flowing arcs of moonlight. Even the clouds seem to breathe in tandem with this rhythm, rising and falling with measured grace. You drift with it all, each pulse settling deeper into your chest, each rhythm guiding your thoughts toward rest. In a secluded terrace, a god traces patterns in the silvered light, sending small arcs of luminous energy across the courtyard. Sparks drift outward, mingling with faint whispers, carrying messages of harmony and care. The minor gods follow these arcs, letting them flow naturally along the curves of clouds and marble walkways. You float alongside, watching as light, word, and motion blend seamlessly into soft serenity, carrying your mind into quiet ease. The moon casts its final, tender beams across the night, reaching temples, pools, and distant stars. The gods pause, letting whispers linger, letting light settle, letting every motion rest for a moment in calm reflection. The oaths, old and new, fold gently into the fabric of the sky. Even the smallest spark of remembrance glows softly, a quiet reminder that the weight of eternity can coexist with the grace of gentle care. Let us drift onward, following the gentle pulse of whispers, the soft arcs of moonlight, the slow, deliberate motion of gods at peace. Feel your chest rise and fall with the rhythm of their breaths, your mind settle into the calm of floating clouds and glowing temples. The night carries every promise, every soft grievance into the folds of silvered sky, leaving behind nothing but quiet harmony. Now rest, as the eternal moon leans softly over the heavens, as whispers fade into gentle luminescence, and as the gods pause in their serene vigilance. Drift with the silvered light, float among the gentle oaths, and let sleep carry you into a calm, luminous dream beneath moonlit skies. The sky stretches endlessly, a deep velvet canvas scattered with quiet points of light. Stars shimmer softly, each one a small heartbeat in the vast silence. You drift among them, carried by a gentle breeze that moves like whispered silk. The labyrinth of constellations unfolds before you, vast and intricate, with paths that twist and fold in dreamlike arcs. Each turn feels deliberate, slow, as if the heavens themselves are breathing with calm patience. The stars above are not hurried. They glow steadily, guiding the way through a maze that stretches in every direction. You float along the paths, noticing how each constellation seems to hum with quiet purpose. Some stars form arcs that curve gently around pools of soft light, while others trace straight lines across the dark expanse, like threads connecting distant realms. You move among them, feeling the rhythm of the sky settle deep in your chest. Within this labyrinth, the gods walk lightly, tracing strategies in silence. Their gestures are measured, their movements deliberate as they navigate the intricate pathways of light. Occasionally, a hand lifts, directing a star along a soft curve, or tracing a hidden arc that will only be visible to those who drift slowly enough to notice. You float beside them, letting their calm rhythm guide your mind, each motion dissolving tension and smoothing restless thoughts. Some stars shimmer in clusters, forming delicate gardens of light. In these quiet corners, minor gods pause to arrange their strategies, moving in patterns that are as much art as intention. Each step leaves a gentle trace, a ripple of silver that curves softly into the surrounding paths. You follow these ripples, feeling your breath slow, your thoughts softening into the calm, measured pulse of the labyrinth. Paths wind like slow rivers through the constellations, sometimes narrowing, sometimes opening into wide chambers of glittering stars. Each chamber holds a subtle shift of energy, a faint gleam here, a soft hum there. The gods move carefully through these spaces, their steps and gestures shaping the light into patterns that echo across the labyrinth. Sparks rise and fall in delicate arcs, creating a slow, mesmerizing dance that fills every corner with soft, radiant motion. In one quiet passage, a god pauses beneath a crescent of stars, tracing lines of light with fingertips. Each line stretches across the sky, weaving through distant clusters and bending gently around soft clouds of starlight. You drift closer, feeling the motion settle into your mind. Each line of light carries quiet intention, a subtle map of harmony, a delicate choreography that unfolds without urgency. Occasionally, a minor god hovers at a turning, pausing to adjust a star's glow. Sparks of silver and gold arc softly as they move, scattering in gentle showers across the paths. Each sparkle is slow, deliberate, a whisper of celestial energy that spreads across the maze. The labyrinth shifts subtly in response, flowing like liquid light beneath your gaze. You float along with the motion, letting the soft pulses of illumination guide your breath and calm your thoughts. The corridors of stars curve in unexpected ways, leading you through chambers filled with luminous gardens and pools of reflected light. The pools mirror constellations above, their surfaces rippling slowly with the faintest touch of a god's hand. Ripples drift outward in gentle arcs, touching nearby paths, tracing slow, deliberate patterns that blend seamlessly with the movement of the labyrinth. You follow the ripples, feeling their soft pulse move through your chest, through your shoulders, settling every thought into quiet stillness. Above, arcs of faint comet light curve through the maze, leaving soft trails that shimmer and fold around the constellations. The gods guide them with delicate gestures, letting each arc trace a path of calm across the night sky. Sparks rise and settle along the trails, illuminating hidden corners, revealing secret turns of the labyrinth, and drawing slow, graceful lines through the dark expanse. You drift among them, feeling the rhythm of motion, the gentle pulse of intention, the quiet wonder of stars in careful alignment. Some passages narrow, twisting like gentle ribbons of light. Here, Minor gods pause, whispering faint strategies in tones soft as moonlight. Their words drift through the maze like slow currents, shaping energy without force. The stars respond, bending subtly to their presence, glowing in quiet arcs that mirror the careful flow of thought. You float along these paths, letting the whispers settle in your mind, softening the edges of tension and carrying every thought toward calm. In a quiet chamber, a god bends low, tracing patterns along the floor of stars. The arcs of light shift and curl under their touch, forming shapes that glow faintly, illuminating the space in gentle swirls. Sparks rise, twirling in lazy circles, scattering across nearby corridors, touching the edges of other paths. Each movement is deliberate yet tender, a soft weaving of harmony across the labyrinth. You drift among these arcs, feeling the slow pulse of the heavens echo within your chest. Pools of starlight ripple softly in the corners of the maze, reflecting constellations that stretch endlessly above. The minor gods pause at these reflections, adjusting small arcs of light, letting the flow of the maze settle into gentle patterns. Each ripple moves outward, touching paths and corridors, folding calm into every turn. You float with them, letting the ripple move through your thoughts, easing every restless stir, slowing your breath in harmony with the labyrinth's rhythm. Occasionally, a god lifts a hand and arcs a trail of comet light across a distant path. Sparks scatter softly, touching stars and pools with delicate radiance. The minor gods follow the trail, guiding each flicker along gentle curves, ensuring that every path remains fluid and serene. The labyrinth breathes with their movements, shifting in soft harmony, carrying every motion into a quiet, measured flow. You drift within this flow, carried by the gentle arcs of light and the steady, slow pulse of stars. Above the highest corridors, clusters of stars swirl in arcs that stretch across the sky. Each cluster holds faint whispers of strategy, old oaths, and gentle intentions. The gods move slowly among them, tracing lines, guiding light, adjusting the labyrinth's rhythm with care. Every flicker of brilliance, every subtle spark, contributes to a vast, calm design that stretches across the heavens. You float along these lines, feeling each pulse settle in your chest, each curve slow your thoughts, each sparkle ease your mind. The labyrinth folds gently around itself, corridors curving into chambers of soft illumination, pools, and radiant arcs. The gods move with patience, tracing patterns, guiding light, whispering strategies that are calm, deliberate, and full of quiet wonder. Even the smallest sparks carry meaning. Every motion contributes to the harmony of the maze. You drift through the chambers, letting the steady rhythm of movement, light, and intention lull your thoughts into gentle stillness. Let us drift onward, tracing the soft arcs of stars, following the slow pulses of comet light, floating with the gentle guidance of the gods. Feel your chest rise and fall with the labyrinth's rhythm, your mind soften into quiet arcs, your spirit settle into the calm pulse of constellations winding endlessly across the heavens. Now rest, as the corridors of light fold gently into shadow, as the sparks dissolve softly into the night, and as the labyrinth of stars holds you in gentle, luminous embrace. Drift among the constellations, float with the slow dance of divine energy, and let sleep carry you further into the serene wonder of the celestial maze. The heavens stretch wide, a tranquil ocean of deep indigo, scattered with distant points of silver light. A soft wind flows through this vastness, carrying whispers of ancient oaths and gentle promises. Among the stars, you notice shapes gliding gracefully, seraphic eagles, divine creatures whose wings shimmer with soft gold and pearl. Each movement stirs the cosmos, creating breezes that ripple slowly through constellations and celestial rivers. You drift alongside them, feeling the gentle pulse of their wings settle your mind into quiet stillness. The eagles move in slow, deliberate arcs. Their feathers glimmer as if touched by the moon's soft light, each flap sending ripples of calm across the heavens. They glide over distant battlegrounds, silent yet full of purpose, carrying messages of hope and quiet warning. Their presence is gentle, never jarring. The movement of their wings feels like a lullaby for the stars themselves. You float with them, your breath syncing with the slow rise and fall of their majestic flight. Below, soft clouds cradle temples and gardens of light. The eagles circle above, their eyes reflecting the glimmer of hidden paths and quiet intentions. Each creature carries a message, folded carefully in the subtle arcs of their wings, whispering into the soft currents of the air. Some messages are of hope, shimmering with gentle luminescence. Others carry the soft echo of warnings, guiding unseen movements across the night sky. You follow them, feeling the calm rhythm they leave behind in their wake. Occasionally, an eagle dips close to a pool of starlight, tracing gentle patterns with its beak and talons. Sparks rise, mingling with the soft glow, forming arcs that drift lazily through the air. These luminous trails scatter across the heavens, illuminating quiet corridors of light and hidden chambers where minor gods move with deliberate calm. You float within these arcs, letting their slow, soft energy ease your thoughts, guiding each one into gentle relaxation. The wings of the eagle stir the stars themselves, nudging constellations into subtle dances. Lines of light ripple across the sky, bending softly as though breathing with the wind. Each ripple carries intention, a quiet pulse of celestial harmony that moves without haste. You drift among these flows, letting the gentle rhythm fold into your chest, slowing your heartbeat, softening the edges of every lingering thought. Some eagles hover near the highest spires of clouded temples, their shadows casting faint, intricate patterns on the marble below. They dip their wings in arcs of careful grace, scattering sparks of light that tumble softly across terraces and gardens. Minor gods follow these sparks, tracing their slow movements with fingertips, guiding the luminous paths gently across the heavens. You drift along, feeling the tender care of every gesture, the serene patience woven into each movement of wing and light. Across a quiet battlefield of clouds and distant starlight, eagles circle in slow formation. Each flap stirs gentle winds, carrying faint whispers of prayers, memories, and intentions. Some words float like petals, soft and light. Others trail like faint ribbons of silver across the sky. The air hums quietly, a subtle resonance that moves through every temple, cloud, and corridor of stars. You drift with it all, letting each hum fold into your chest, each whisper settle into your mind, softening every thought. Occasionally, an eagle perches on a crescent of cloud, lowering its wings to touch the soft air. Light arcs from its feathers, tracing the gentle curves of distant temples and pools of starlight. Sparks rise in lazy circles, mingling with whispers of celestial energy, forming delicate patterns that stretch across the heavens. You float among these patterns, following each spark, each ripple of light, letting the rhythm of wing beats guide your breath and your mind toward calm. The eagle's flight is measured and serene. They swoop in arcs that reveal hidden corridors of stars, tracing pathways across the labyrinth of constellations below. Each movement carries intention, a message of caution, a note of encouragement, a soft reminder that every act can be gentle and deliberate. You drift along these paths, feeling the serene pulse of motion settle deep into your chest, softening tension, easing every restless thought. Above, the moon casts pale, tender light across the battleground, touching eagles, temples, and distant rivers of starlight. Their wings reflect this glow, scattering arcs of silver that mingle with golden feathers. Each flap leaves trails of gentle luminescence, illuminating the heavens with slow, deliberate grace. Minor gods pause beneath these arcs, tracing their edges with fingertips. Following the paths of light as they curve softly across the sky, you float beside them, letting the gentle patterns seep into your mind and ease your spirit. In one quiet moment, an eagle rises above a clouded spire, spreading wings wide in a slow, magnificent arc. Sparks of silver and gold drift from each feather, scattering in gentle showers across nearby temples and gardens. The minor gods move beneath, letting each spark settle in soft waves of calm, allowing the rhythm of wing beats and starlight to carry their thoughts into harmony. You drift among these sparks, feeling every flicker of light fold into the calm pulse of the cosmos. The battleground below is vast, yet serene. Clouds drift slowly, soft and pliant, carrying the echoes of whispers and wing beats across the expanse. The eagles move carefully through these clouds, weaving arcs of light, tracing the paths of messages with patience and care. Each flap, each subtle tilt of wing shapes the air, forming gentle currents that guide not only gods but every drifting thought toward quietude. You follow these currents, letting their slow, deliberate pulse settle within you. Pools of starlight mirror the eagles above, their surfaces rippling with faint arcs of reflected wing beats. Sparks rise, float, and curve gently across the heavens, leaving trails of calm that ripple through distant temples and clouded gardens. Minor gods adjust their gestures to follow these flows, their motions deliberate and slow, harmonizing with the natural rhythm of the cosmos. You drift along with each ripple, letting it move through your body, through your mind, folding every restless fragment into gentle serenity. The eagle's wings stir the quiet corners of the night sky, carrying messages that shimmer with soft intention. Some glide close together, forming patterns that echo ancient oaths, tracing delicate arcs of hope and remembrance across the heavens. Others swoop gently, leaving trails of light that touch distant temples, pools, and hidden chambers of starlight. You float along with them, each movement a slow, calming breath that guides your own heartbeat into rhythm with the cosmos. Let us drift onward, carried by the wings of the seraphic eagles, guided by their soft arcs of light and surrounded by the gentle hum of the night sky. Feel your chest rise and fall with their rhythm, your thoughts soften with every flutter, your mind and spirit settling into calm harmony. The heavens move slowly, deliberately, carrying every whisper, every spark, every gentle motion into perfect stillness. Now rest as the eagles fold their wings, as the currents of starlight fade into gentle pools, and as the battleground of clouds and light is held in serene balance. Drift among the soft arcs of wing and spark, float in the quiet pulse of celestial motion, and let sleep carry you into the calm, luminous embrace of the heavens. Soft light filters across the heavens, scattering in gentle arcs that illuminate a hidden sanctuary. Here, away from the rippling tensions of celestial battles, a garden blooms. Its colors are tender, almost ethereal, as if painted with the light of distant stars. You float toward it, carried by the gentle breeze that drifts like whispered lullabies through the cosmos. The air is sweet with the scent of flowering starlilies and silken vines, a fragrance that settles softly in the chest and eases every thought. The garden is vast yet intimate, with paths that curve slowly, inviting quiet steps. Pools of still water mirror constellations above, their surfaces smooth, reflecting the gentle glow of distant temples and the soft flicker of candlelight from unseen altars. You drift along the pathways, your body light, your mind quiet, each step a slow breath that folds into the rhythm of the garden itself. In the shade of a golden tree, minor gods pause. Their forms shimmer softly, like light bending through gentle mist. They bend over pools, tracing patterns with fingertips, letting ripples ripple outward in arcs of calm. Each gesture is deliberate, unhurried, full of the quiet intention to nurture and to restore. You float near them, feeling the subtle pulse of their calm radiate through the air, settling into your chest and flowing slowly through your mind. Flowers of unimaginable hues bloom along the garden paths, petals brushing softly against each other in unseen currents of celestial wind. Each blossom radiates a faint luminescence, a gentle glow that mirrors the quiet hearts of those who pause here. As you drift among them, the petals' soft motion seems to echo the slow rhythm of breath, a gentle reminder that even in vast conflict, peace can exist, delicate and luminous. A fountain of light rises at the garden's center, its waters glowing softly like liquid moonlight. Gentle streams cascade, scattering tiny sparks that drift through the air, joining with the soft luminescence of petals and pools. The water hums quietly, a soothing murmur that carries the memory of creation itself. You float beside the fountain, letting its gentle voice wrap around your mind, smoothing every edge, easing every lingering thought. Birds with feathers of silver and pearl drift silently through the trees, their wings stirring soft breezes that ripple gently across the pools and paths. Each flap carries a quiet message, a whisper of balance and harmony, reminding all who pass that calm can be found even amid tumultuous skies. You drift with the motion of their wings, feeling the soft currents carry your thoughts into stillness, folding them like gentle clouds into the serene air. In the far corner of the garden, a grove of ancient trees bends toward each other, their branches weaving a canopy of stars and light. Beneath them, minor gods sit in quiet reflection, tracing circles in the air, guiding soft sparks of divine energy into the paths of the garden. Each motion leaves a tender glow, a faint trail of harmony that spreads slowly through the sanctuary. You drift among these lights, letting them touch your mind, settling every restless fragment into calm repose. Pools of water along the paths ripple gently, stirred by unseen breezes or the touch of celestial fingers. Each ripple carries faint reflections of distant constellations, arcs of light folding into soft shadows. You pause beside a pool, watching the mirrored stars drift slowly across the surface. The movement is hypnotic, unhurried, carrying a sense of quiet patience. With each ripple, your thoughts fold into the gentle rhythm, slowing, softening, merging with the serene pulse of the garden. Flowers themselves seem to respond to the presence of the gods and of you, their petals brushing softly against each other, creating faint arcs of light in the quiet air. Each bloom carries a subtle fragrance that drifts lazily along the paths, settling into the mind like a gentle promise. Here, creation feels tender and deliberate, every movement a whisper of care, every glow a note of silent guidance. You float among these gentle signals, feeling them thread softly through your chest, soothing every tension. Occasionally, a god lifts a hand, letting sparks of silver light drift slowly into the air. These sparks arc across the garden, touching petals, water, and trees with soft radiance. Each spark hums faintly, a sound almost imperceptible, yet it resonates with the pulse of the garden, creating a harmony that fills every corner of the sanctuary. You drift along these arcs, letting their hum fold gently into your own rhythm, easing every lingering thought into calm. Breezes move softly through the garden, stirring petals, rustling the edges of leaves, and sending faint ripples across pools. These currents carry whispers of reflection, soft words of peace that touch each being in the sanctuary. The eagles of past skis pass overhead in slow arcs, their wings stirring gentle winds that mingle with the fragrant air. Every movement, every breath of wind, every flicker of light carries the same quiet message. Here in this sanctuary, there is calm, there is harmony, there is peace. In one quiet corner, a minor god kneels beneath a luminous tree, tracing slow circles in the air that leave faint arcs of starlight hovering above the ground. The light drifts lazily, folding into pools and paths, guiding other gods and wandering spirits through a slow, gentle rhythm. You float among these arcs, letting their deliberate, patient movement settle within you, carrying a quiet reassurance that even in vast conflict, this sanctuary remains untouched, whole, luminous. The garden's light shifts softly as stars above drift in arcs across the heavens. Pools, petals, and paths all respond to the subtle motion, creating slow currents of energy that flow through every corner of the sanctuary. You drift along these currents, feeling their calm move through your chest, your shoulders, your arms, and down into your legs. Every breath slows, every thought softens. Every tension dissolves into gentle, luminous arcs of light. Birdsong drifts softly from hidden corners, notes of silver and pearl that blend with the hum of the fountains and the ripple of pools. Each note rises and falls slowly, echoing through the garden like distant prayers carried on the wind. You float along with them, letting each sound fold into your mind, weaving a soft net of calm across your thoughts, guiding you toward deep serenity. Let us drift onward through the garden, moving along paths of light and pools of reflection, floating beneath trees and flowers that hum with gentle energy. Feel your mind settle into the rhythm of petals, pools, and whispers. Feel your chest rise and fall with the gentle pulse of the sanctuary. Here, amid the calm of creation, every restless thought softens, every lingering tension dissolves, and peace surrounds you completely. Now rest, as the garden's light folds softly into pools, as petals drift in slow, silent arcs, and as the minor gods pause in tender reflection. Drift among the soft currents of wind, light, and fragrance. Float with the gentle rhythm of pools and wings, and let sleep carry you into the calm, luminous heart of the garden of eternal peace. A hush settles over the heavens as you drift toward a vast desert, stretching endlessly beneath the soft glow of distant stars. The sands are smooth and quiet, undisturbed by mortal steps, yet alive with the memory of countless celestial movements. Moonlight traces gentle lines along the dunes, turning each ripple into a silver wave, a quiet rhythm that mirrors the slow pulse of the cosmos above. You float over this expanse, carried by soft winds that murmur across the sands like whispered stories from forgotten ages. Far above, clouds gather gently, rolling in slow, deliberate arcs. They are not threatening, but alive with soft energy, the electricity of divine intention moving through them like a hidden river. Lightning stirs quietly within these clouds, arcs of soft, blue-white light illuminating distant dunes for a heartbeat before fading into gentle darkness. The flashes are brief, delicate, almost like the blink of a thought, reminding all who watch of the immense, gentle power that flows through every corner of this sacred land. The desert seems alive under this subtle illumination. Each grain of sand reflects fragments of starlight, shifting slightly as the wind passes. You drift close to the surface, sensing the rhythm of the desert's breath. Even in stillness, there is movement here, a pulse that mirrors the slow dance of gods and spirits high above. Every ripple, every curve of a dune is part of the vast pattern, quiet and deliberate, echoing the wisdom of ages. Soft murmurs rise from the wind, carrying whispers of old battles, of moments when gods and spirits moved across these sands, leaving traces of their intentions. The voices are distant, not urgent, simply stories drifting gently through the air. They speak of choices, of balance, and of lessons learned in patience and reflection. You float among these whispers, letting them thread softly through your mind, easing it into stillness, like a gentle tide smoothing the edges of stones. Here and there, small oases emerge, hidden within the folds of dunes. Pools of water shimmer under moonlight, reflecting sparks of lightning from above. Palms bend slightly in quiet acknowledgement of the soft electric currents that drift past them. Birds, luminous and slow, flit between trees, carrying messages that rise and fall with soft hums. Every movement is deliberate calm, a reminder that even in vast spaces of emptiness, life and peace find ways to exist. Lightning arcs across the sky again, slower now, folding light softly across distant mountains and dune crests. It illuminates the gentle faces of statues and carvings half buried in sand, remnants of sacred observances and offerings from ages long past. You float past them, sensing the reverence still held within their forms, a quiet presence that hums with the memory of devotion and care. Each flicker of light is soft, deliberate, not a flash of alarm, but a reminder that power can be gentle when guided by purpose. The winds carry distant drums, soft, measured, vibrating through the sands. They are the echo of divine energies moving across the desert, a rhythm that calls forth patience and reflection. You float along the dunes with this rhythm, letting it settle into your own pulse, syncing breath with breath, thought with thought. The desert stretches endlessly, but in this vastness there is no loneliness, only quiet companionship with the stars, the wind, and the soft murmur of memory. Here, lightning is not a threat but a teacher. Each arc illuminates a pattern in the sand, symbols and traces that tell stories of victories, of lessons gained through patience, and of the quiet wisdom of restraint. The light fades gently, leaving the patterns still visible under moonlight. You drift among them, letting their quiet messages sink slowly into your mind. Every thought becomes lighter, slower, and calmer. Small sandstorms stir here and there, not with chaos but with slow, twisting grace. Grains dance in arcs, illuminated by lightning and moonlight, forming spirals that fold gently over themselves. These spirals carry whispers, soft echoes of divine movements, each one a gentle instruction in the art of balance. You drift along these spirals, letting your thoughts fold with them, moving slower, softer, quieter, until your mind becomes a mirror to the gentle desert around you. The oases deepen their glow as lightning arcs above them once more, slow and deliberate. Water ripples, petals float across still surfaces, and small creatures stir, moving with soft, graceful arcs. The desert is alive, not in urgency, but in careful, deliberate harmony. You drift among these reflections, letting each ripple, each breath of wind, each flicker of light cradle your thoughts. Calm spreads through your chest and limbs, a gentle tide flowing in perfect rhythm with the desert's own heartbeat. The clouds above move with soft deliberation, arcs of lightning folding slowly through their mist. Each strike is like a brushstroke on the vast canvas of night, illuminating briefly the hidden forms of distant mountains, the curve of far dunes, the still pools of sacred oases. You float beneath them, carried by the quiet wind, feeling each flicker of light, each soft echo of thunder, fold gently into your mind. The desert is vast, but every detail is intimate, every moment deliberate, every movement slow and soothing. Even as the storm moves across the desert, there is no fear here, only quiet understanding. Lightning is a language, soft and deliberate, speaking not in haste but in slow arcs, teaching through illumination and shadow, guiding through reflection. You drift through these lessons, letting the electric whispers move through your chest, softening your heart, easing every lingering tension, smoothing every thought. Soft sands shift beneath invisible feet, and distant oases glimmer faintly under starlight. Birds move slowly across the sky, carrying messages and light, while clouds fold gently above, their electric whispers fading gradually. The desert holds both the memory of storms and the stillness of reflection, balancing the past and present in perfect harmony. You float within this balance, breathing with the rhythm of sands and wind, letting the stillness carry you. Now, as the lightning arcs soften and the storm drifts beyond the horizon, the desert rests under a gentle moon. Pools shimmer with faint reflections, dunes fold softly into shadow and light, and every whisper of wind carries a quiet promise of peace. You drift among the sands, feeling your mind settle fully, your chest rising and falling in perfect rhythm with the desert's heartbeat. Let the electric whispers fade slowly, leaving only calm, gentle light and soft, deliberate quiet. Let us drift onward, carried by gentle winds, across vast dunes and shimmering oases, beneath soft arcs of fading lightning and quiet clouds. Now rest, as the desert breathes beneath the eternal sky, as the storms fade into memory, and as the moonlight folds softly across the sands. Sleep here in the calm heart of the sacred desert, where every ripple, every whisper, every soft arc of light cradles you toward rest.